Before we can get started, there will be some formalities that we need to attend to. You'll need to read and sign our volunteer conduct policy. The purpose of the volunteer conduct policy is to create consistency throughout the organization on how we educate and train our volunteers on working with and mentoring children. Our goal is to create the optimal experience for our volunteers, teachers, and students. We ask the volunteers to sign the form so that we, as an organization, know we've spoken to you about being a volunteer and mentoring with our organization, and we've gone over best practices on working with students. You have the volunteer conduct policy in front of you. Please follow along as I read it aloud. Junior Achievement, also known as JA, serves youth. JA volunteers teach valuable lessons in their program delivery and especially in their conduct with students. Adult misconduct with or in the presence of youth carries serious consequences. Because Junior Achievement cares that its volunteers have healthy, appropriate relationships with the youth they serve, it has established the following standards. 1. Young people look to adults for examples of appropriate behavior. JA volunteers must use appropriate language and model honorable behavior such as respect, integrity, honesty, and excellence. Profanity or sexualized language or jokes are inappropriate when working with students, regardless whether it occurs face-to-face, over the internet, or by any other means. JA strictly forbids violating any state law regarding interactions with youth, for example, providing them alcohol, or legal or illegal drugs, or coaxing them into illicit relationships over the internet or otherwise. 2. Volunteers must take particular care when touching youth. Most adults understand the difference between appropriate physical contact such as a handshake or pat on the back and contact that is sexual or disrespectful. Volunteers also must be cognizant of how any physical contact may be perceived. 3. Interactions with students must both be appropriate and appear appropriate. It is expected that volunteers' interactions with students are at all times appropriate and professional, and are strictly related to the role of business mentor. It is unacceptable to seek or engage in one-to-one meetings at any time. This includes electronically, by email, social media sites, etc., by phone or in person. 4. Volunteers are responsible for the quality of interactions. Students often find it difficult to state discomfort or objections. Volunteers must be especially sensitive to physical and verbal cues that youth provide. 5. No weapons of any kind are permitted on school or Junior Achievement Office premises. The aforementioned standards do not represent a comprehensive list. Other actions not included could result in suspension or dismissal as a volunteer. JA volunteers also must read and comply with JA's social media policy. Junior Achievement takes all complaints of misconduct seriously. Credible allegations of misconduct will be promptly reported to the appropriate authorities. During any such investigation, the JA volunteer will not perform services as a JA volunteer. If an investigation determines misconduct occurred, it will result in the immediate and permanent dismissal as a JA volunteer. Any JA staff member or volunteer who reasonably suspects misconduct must report these suspicions immediately to the appropriate JA staff with their JA area. We at Junior Achievement sincerely thank you for supporting our programs. We hope you thoroughly enjoy your experience.